Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Four of Pentacles, this is safety, stability, security. This is kind of our basic needs, right? This is, we're doing what we need to do to make ends meet, to feel sort of balanced, right? To feel stable. This is a good foundation of life. Kind of tells me that you're focused on practical things now, that you're sort of trying to build good habits. You're trying to do the kind of, the basics, the water, shelter, food, And I think that this is a good focus. This is something from which we can then feel safe to go and explore other things, right? Let's see what's going on here with a few more cards. I like that. That's a very strong way to begin, okay? And then we've got that little extra, right? So we kind of have, like, this is the basic soil, and now we've got this wonderful Six of Cups that's growing out of this soil. We have a Hermit, an Ace of Swords. We've got a Princess of Wands and a Six of Wands. Very good. Over here we have a Prince of Cups, the Tower, a Ten of Cups, and an Ace of Wands. So we really have some good fire energy here, even with that Tower. That Tower feels like it is a kind of a breaking through. It's kind of like we're preparing ourselves. It's almost like when we, like you're training for some kind of a marathon or something, right? You're just trying to do basic exercises. You're trying to establish a good foundation. You're pushing yourself. You're sort of working on good habits. And then this is like, this is that leveling up. This is that big, like, race day. You don't train for marathons by running other marathons. You know what I mean? You're doing these basic exercises, whatever the kind of core things are, the foundational things for this really big event out here. So interesting. I like the Tower. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. The Factor Infinite and Unknown. We're going to set it down right here with our little sea turtle friend. And now we're not going to look at that card until the very end, all right? But it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during this program you feel like you know what that card is, well, put your prediction in the comments, all right? We can do it together. We can use our intuition, yeah. Let's look around the room. It's kind of been, I guess, a theme, or a trend in the last last few readings. We've got two major arcana energies. In this case, we've got the Hermit and we've got the Tower. The Hermit is sort of introspective, consolidating, focused on those basic needs, focused on what's going on with you at home, sort of sequestering yourself from the rest of the world, let's say, and just getting down and dirty with what you know you need to do. Okay? Really kind of, buckling down on, I think whatever these four Pentacles are for you. Again, this is kind of like, it feels like the Hermit is here in this home, in your own space, doing your own thing, focusing on you, focusing on your basic needs right now. And then, of course, the Tower, it feels like it's kind of that explosion of activity out in the world. It's like you're preparing for something. Yeah. It's like you're working on something, and pretty soon it's going to be revealed. Pretty soon it's just going to it's going to be out there in this more extroverted way. The Hermit, of course, is more introspective, introverted. And then that Tower seems to me like it is an explosion of energy. Okay? And it's in the position of your environment and or your relationships, which it's going to be interesting when we get around to that card and we talk about it in more detail, what that could really be, because it is changed. It is something, it's really the Hermit kind of shifting gears and doing something very different, something that you're preparing for now. It's going to take effect, I think, very soon. So we have our two majors. We have fire, fire, fire. We've got water, water, water. Yeah. We got a little bit of air and a little bit of earth. And this feels like this is the realization, right, of what the kind of the idea that you had, the inspiration to do what you're doing, and the plan, and it starts to develop, and we're working on it. And I think that this is really something that is going to feel good. This is a good thing that you're doing. It's something that's going to lead, I think, to greater happiness and greater joy for you. Okay, but we have to go through this challenge of this Tower. Yeah. So we have quite a bit of fire and, of course, equal amount of water here. And that's kind of interesting to me too, because it makes me wonder if you are doing kind of a 180 in life, if you're preparing for a really big move, a really big shift, a really big change. And I don't know really that you're necessarily preparing for it, because the Tower is sometimes a surprise. Yeah. So it may be that you're doing all of this basic sort of energy work. You're focused on maybe your health. You're focused on just getting your finances in order. Kind of you're cleaning your room. You're cleaning your house. You're taking care of things at home, right? You aren't necessarily anticipating a really big shift, a really big sort of event resulting from that. Does that make sense? Anyway, let's go through the cards. 6 of Cups. This is pleasure. This is, I think, you spending time caring for yourself and your loved ones. Again, you're spending time at home. You're doing things that mean something to you in, I think, a more intimate space. This is a card of community sometimes, but I feel like this is right now, this is more like family. This is like your pets, your plants, your people. And so I feel like you're trying to, well, in some ways you're trying to focus on your sort of general, basic, foundational needs so that you can enjoy your life, right? And sometimes it's kind of saying, I want to have a better quality of life, so I need to start paying attention to what I'm eating, what I'm drinking, how much I'm exercising, how much activity I get. I need to really think about saving money a little bit so that I can enjoy my time. I can enjoy the people around me. I can enjoy my friends, and family. And so I feel like this is part of that we want to have. We want to have a better quality of life. I think that's kind of a purpose that we're all aiming toward, right? I think in a general sense, all of us just want to have a better quality of life. It doesn't matter where we are now. We could always be a little bit happier. We could always be a little bit more connected. We could always love a little bit more. We could always have a little bit of a higher quality of life or less suffering in life, right? So to me, this feels like it's a lot of healing work. It feels like we are trying to not just be baseline generally okay, not just trying to have the water, shelter, food, but we're trying to have that, yes, but in order to pursue something higher, in order to have, a more enjoyable life, right? A more abundant and prosperous life of more love, more commitment, more family, more intimacy. Okay, so again, I feel like the 4 is the soil here that we're tending to the garden. We're trying to make sure that everything is has the best opportunity for growth, and then we really want to grow the thing. Okay. Six of Cups is an interconnectedness. Now, maybe this is between you and one person. Maybe it is just with your pets, your plants. Maybe this is family. Maybe this is close friends. But I feel like there's an intimate relationship between, well, I don't know. I'm kind of uncertain whether it's one particular person, as in maybe a romance or like a best friend kind of thing. And in some ways, it feels like we're trying to be very healthy for ourselves, yes, but for our relationship with something else or someone else too. Okay. And maybe that we're starting to focus more on, kind of being around, right, for the people that we love and that we want to spend time with. Yeah. So it could be also that we are, maybe in a very literal way, we're sort of cleaning the house because we're going to have our friends over. We're getting things in order so that we can have this experience and this joyful togetherness with who we care about, the people, the pets, plants, that sort of thing. So I like this focus. I think right now that's kind of the name of the game for you, is to, to do what you need to do so that you can enjoy your life and your people and those relationships that you do have. Okay. And very often it just kind of means, hey, just kind of straighten up the house a little bit, throw something in the oven to eat, and invite some people over. Even if it's just maybe that one person or whatever it might be, right? Because I think you really need right now a dose of love, of intimacy, and of kind of surrounding yourself with people that you care about and people that care about you. That's the prescription right now from Spirit. Okay. Down beneath the surface, we do have the Hermit. I think that you've been kind of feeling hermit mode lately. I think that you've been focusing on this, your household stuff, right? The Four of Pentacles, and maybe that's part of this. You've been focusing on just kind of the finances. Maybe you haven't been going out very much. You haven't been spending a lot of money. You're trying to sort of save money. You're sort of trying to balance your life a little bit. And it's starting to feel a little isolating. Okay? It feels like you have a lot of things you want to do in life, but the Hermit's kind of saying, well, no, I can't. I have to cut all those. Those are extra things. I can't do those right now. I have to just save money. I have to focus on my eating habits, my exercise habits. Like, that's just kind of what we're doing. So we're not eating at the restaurant that we like. We're not buying ourselves the things we want. We're not getting gifts for everybody else right now. We're just kind of saying, no, I got all those things are extra, and I got to really tighten the belt up, And I think the Hermit's feeling a little bit isolated from that. Now, it could be that you've been training and working on these foundational habits for some, higher purpose, right? And it's just sort of, it's been a while since you've been with your people. So the Hermit is a little bit focused on the internal stuff, let's say, and maybe needs a little bit of connection outside. Needs to venture out of the house a little bit and spend some time with people or have people over, whatever the case is. But to get out of ourselves a little bit, okay? Because you've been focused on self, focused on home, focused on inside. Now I feel that Spirit's saying, maybe let's reward ourselves a little bit for this. Okay, and I think the Hermit's kind of at least taking a break to engage with your friends and your family or your people, and kind of give yourself a little bit of repose here. Okay, now you're somebody that I think you like working alone. I think you do. Maybe you live alone, but you do very well kind of by yourself, focusing on your energy, and it's easy for you to kind of not spend money and make sure you have the right habits, eating habits, exercise, all that sort of stuff. It's sort of easy for you to do that. And I think maybe you're the kind of person that gets sort of lost in that you might not know, wow, months have gone by now, or weeks at least. And it's kind of like, well, I need some fresh air. And maybe you're working on a particular project. Maybe you're doing some repairs around the house. Maybe there's there's something you're building, or there's some kind of art piece, or there's some novel you're working on. But you're very, like I said, you're kind of buckled down right now. And Spirit's saying that we need a little bit of connection with our people. But further than that even, and I want to go straight over to this Six of Wands, because whatever you're doing this particular work at home for, whatever this is, right, it's going to be very successful. You're going to reach a level of success at this. If this is a project you're working on, you're going to complete it. It's going to be really, really wonderful, right? But I think that's only going to happen if you are able to experience these, let's say, family connections, or whatever you want to call them, right? The intimacy, the more social kind of thing, I guess. The sense of community, the inspiration from other people, the support from other people, and all those things we talked about. It feels like this is the way forward, see? It feels like this is going to lead to your continued inspiration and lead to the accomplishment of whatever this Four of Pentacles work is. Okay, and I think that this is something that you're not necessarily doing it for its own sake. Now, I don't think that you're expecting a big breakthrough happening in the environment like this, or in your relationships with this Tower moment, but I feel like this is something that is meant to increase the quality of your life. All right? And with that Six of Wands in the future position, I feel like you're going to gain a lot of confidence through this, whatever you're sort of working on at home right now, right? I think you're going to gain so much confidence from that, that you're going to then apply yourself to so many more things. I feel like your energy level is improving. Your self-confidence is improving. Your acknowledgement of your own capability is improving. It's growing, right? This is Jupiter in Leo, right? This card. And to me, this always feels like a card that says, I can do anything, right? But what we're realizing, I think, especially with the Six of Wands and Cups, is that we are sort of more productive when there are other people around us that we can vibe with, that we can sort of, we inspire each other, we motivate each other. Maybe it's an accountability thing, okay? Because I feel that this is a card that says, I don't want to just win by myself. I don't want to be good at this. I don't want to succeed. I don't want to do this and accomplish this thing if I don't have anybody to share it with. Right? So Spirit's kind of saying, share it with other people now, and then when you do succeed, when you do get this big breakthrough and these big accomplishments, those people are going to be there, and they're going to be with you, and they're already going to be like by your side, So it feels to me like the win feels a lot better when you've got your people with you. Okay? We don't want to do this in isolation, because I think in isolation, what we sort of experience going vertically here is we experience the solitude. We experience just doing this, and there's really no purpose behind it. This is kind of just routine, and it's going to become dull over time. It's going to become monotonous because there's no purpose behind it. It's just, this is just what I need to do right now, and I know I need to do it. It's kind of just like someone who just has no joy in life. It's just going and doing what they need to do, and it's just sort of humdrum. It's very mundane, right? And that leads us kind of up here to this Princess of Wands, that if this is the path, eventually we're going to cease doing this. It's not going to be fun anymore. It's not going to, we're going to at some point think, why the heck am I doing this? There's no purpose here. So Princess of Wands is up here sort of abandoning it. Right? Just saying, I don't want to do it anymore. I want to go find something else to do that's going to interest me, So this is very often an energy that quits doing the boring and mundane things because it's out there looking for excitement. And it's kind of saying, well, there's no purpose to this routine that I'm in. It's boring, it's monotonous, it's mundane. I'm going to abandon it, throw it away. I'm going to go do something exciting. And this sometimes is a impulsive or reckless energy, right? So instead of that, I think we are realizing that we have to do this with purpose. We have to be able to connect with a purpose for doing this for. And maybe the Four of Pentacles really is just like that routine. I wake up, I go to work, I come home, I cook, I clean, I go to bed. I wake up, I work, I do, it might just be the general sort of habits of life. And I'm not doing anything extra right now. I'm just trying to focus on these daily routines. And the Six of Cups then says, well, what is the purpose behind it? Why are we doing these things? What are we hoping to accomplish through this? So this then becomes our feeling of being connected to something larger, being connected to a purpose. It's going to keep us, it's going to sustain us in these really good habits, these foundational habits. And I think this is sort of us accomplishing what we want to accomplish, but there's also that accountability. Anytime we get a 6, I think of like teamwork. I think of our loved ones. There's support. There's a group of us. There's a community. Okay? So I think that you are going to experience much more joy, but also much more success when you do this in a connected way, when you feel connected to what you're doing, and usually that helps. That's more likely when we feel connected with other people who are doing this. So it's kind of like maybe we're finding a group or a club or an association or something that we can get involved with that will support us in this. Or at the very least, making sure we connect with our family and our friends. And we get that sort of support. And we realize that we're doing all of this Four of Pentacles work for a higher purpose, for something more, to improve our life, not just because this is what I'm supposed to do and this is what the hermit's been doing and that's it, right? Because that's not sustainable. Now, the Ace of Swords in the background, I think that this was, I feel like you lost something recently, but you found something that was lost recently. And I don't know what that was exactly. I don't know if it was I almost feel like there was almost I kind of feel like it was the loss of a person. I feel like someone in your life, you thought they were gone, but they are back, or something like that. I don't know if it was a health thing or if it was that maybe you thought that you were kind of losing your person, but it didn't happen. Like that bond is strengthened again. So something kind of feels like it's been renewed, or it's almost like a second chance kind of energy. And I feel that this has put you on this very disciplined path right now. Again, where we're focusing on that Four of Pentacles, and we're trying to do everything right, so to speak. Trying to do everything that we know we need to do to be whole, to be healthy, to heal. And I think that the purpose there is to have more quality in life, to have more joy, more intimacy, to sustain this connection or this relationship. I don't know what that is or who that person is, but I feel that that's something that you thought was lost is now, it's there, right? It feels like it's returned in a way. And it feels like this has renewed your inspiration. It's renewed your discipline and your motivation to focus on these things that you really need to focus on, that Four of Pentacles, the foundations, the sort of basic needs, and those good, healthy habits, right? That sort of thing. Now, we're going to talk about the path of the serpent, because I want to know what this Tower card is. Okay. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. Now, your general energy is a Prince of Cups. This is someone that is trying to live authentically. This is someone who is trying to always be themselves, right? So when we're forcing, when the hermit is sort of forcing this, and and maybe I think that this is a place where you really thrive, but without the Six of Cups, this is going to be very, and there's going to be a lot of discipline required to stay just in this routine. And there is this sort of urge for you, I think that will show up eventually, an urge to just abandon this and say, oh, I'm done. This is kind of the way, people start some sort of diet or something, and they're very disciplined for a while, but then eventually they're just gonna abandon it, right? It happens to most people. It happens to me almost every day. But without this sense of community, without this sense of belonging somewhere and having a purpose behind it, it's not sustainable. So it's much more likely that we will succeed, that we will be victorious, if we have some sense of community, some sort of belonging, that we feel part of something, that we feel there's a purpose to it. Okay. And now the authenticity sort of counteracts that, because this is you being yourself. This isn't you being part of the group. So how do we have our sense of belonging, but also maintain our individuality? Okay? Because we're part of a group, we start to believe what the group believes. We start to want what the group wants. So even if this is a group of two, right? It's kind of, we identify with this, whatever this effort is, whatever you're doing specifically. We identify as that. We identify with the other person, and we have this shared belief, the shared desire, the shared experience. But this card is all about you wanting to be an individual. So I feel like you're someone right now who you don't really want to be part of a group. You don't want to be accountable to anybody else. You want to maybe you want to be alone. You want to live alone. You want to do your own thing in your own way. So I feel in you that there might be a little bit of a, well, this could be the fire and the water too, that we see, the equal fire, equal water. I wonder if there's a little bit of a conflict in you between your individual, I'm going to do it my way, and then of course being part of a group and having this feeling of belonging and having this sort of group success, right? Or this sense of belonging, this sense of community. Okay, because the fire cards equal to the water cards, right? 3 and 3. It's kind of telling me that there is sort of an opposition, and maybe that's the accountability. Maybe that's really you not really wanting that accountability, but knowing that you need it. So in other words, the fire and the water sort of clash. It gets together, it produces, steam and all this kind of stuff. So that might be knowing that we need somebody to challenge us. That what we don't want is for somebody to just enable us, to tell us everything we're doing is perfect, right? We want some fire. Maybe that's part of what this is. And we could look at it that way. We could say that this is perhaps us being enabled, that the people around us are just saying, oh, you're fine, everything you're doing is great. It just sort of confirming what we're already believing about ourselves, right? Whereas this might be someone who says, you know what, you could do better. Someone that's motivating us. And I don't know that we like that. I don't know that I want anybody kind of telling me, that I'm being lazy, that I should wake up earlier, or that I should push harder, or do another 10 minutes on the bike or something. But maybe this is what we need. And maybe this is that accountability where we just say, hey, we give each other a phone call. Are you awake yet? And we can challenge each other in this way where it's motivating, but it's not aggressive. It's not confrontational, because I think that doesn't sit well with you, right? And maybe this Princess of Wands up here at the top is us sort of needing that. We need somebody to kind of be a little bit a little bit blunt, right? A little bit to the point with us, and sort of tell it like it is, and motivate us, encourage us to do this, right? But it has to be done with love and with this sort of, with this bond, you know. So back to the Prince of Cups here. I think you're an individualist. I think you understand the importance of being a part of a group, of belonging to, even if it's a group of two, but to have the other, you know. Whether it's being a member of a club, or you're join some kind of an exercise group or something like this, or you just have a friend, a buddy, an intimate partner, that is going to help you to reach those levels in your life that you really want to reach. Okay. But still maintaining your individuality. You know, that seems to be the difficult part, especially between these two here. Now, the Tower, in your relationships, in the environment here, this might really be that kind of, I keep hearing the word confrontation, you know. I keep hearing that there is this, you know, there's kind of an aggressive, it's almost like a drill sergeant sort of barking at us, right? And I don't know that that's really what you want, and I don't know that that's exactly what this is, but I feel like we need the push. Because maybe the Hermit will fall into that Four of Pentacles routine and will fail to sort of go outside the box. We'll just get comfortable there. And in some ways, that Four of Pentacles is going to continue to be just built up the same level, you know, the same kind of structure, brick by brick. And it becomes a tower. And it becomes isolating. It becomes limiting. Right? Without this fire energy to sort of, you know, it's almost like the sand in the oyster. Something to challenge us a little bit and motivate us to just push beyond our limits. Yeah. And the Tower, I think, is really that leveling up. It's really that kind of, it feels unexpected. It feels that there is a change in your environment. It feels like you're getting past a blockage, you're getting past a limitation. It feels like a real leveling up. This is like an exclamation point of life. Okay? And this really could be that irritation, that confrontation, that little bit of sort of aggressive energy in the relationships that's going to stimulate the growth. Okay? No, not saying you have to fight with your partner if you want to, you know, if you want to get anywhere. But in this work that you're doing right now, I feel like you need the challenge. I feel like without the challenge, you're going to get bored. And you're going to stagnate. And you're going to end up just abandoning it. So we sort of need, it's almost like we need competition. It's almost like you need somebody who's going to try to do it better than you. And that's going to push you beyond yourself. Okay. I think you're going to surprise yourself with how quickly you can make progress here. Because maybe you've been working on something, Four of Pentacles, for a long time. And maybe the Hermit's been really, wow, months, weeks have gone by, months have gone by. And we're still same Four of Pentacles. So maybe this is that stimulation that we need. Maybe we have to find someone that can be that sand in our oyster to push us outside of our box, outside of our limits. Like we need that motivational energy in our lives so that we can level up, right? What we really truly want, but I think what we're afraid of not getting is satisfaction, fulfillment, the real, the purpose fulfilled here with the Ten of Cups. But the Ten of Cups is also an overwhelming energy. The Ten of Cups is an energy that says, I've had enough. I've had more than enough. So the idea here is kind of a balance, right? How do we push ourselves, or how do we get pushed? Just enough in that sweet spot where things are going to grow and it's going to be perfect. Too much, and maybe too much, and we're going to get a tower. Too much, and the whole thing's going to break down. Too little, and we're not going to do anything. Too little, and we're going to get bored. So the 10 is saying, I'm kind of scared here of being overwhelmed by this energy and really kind of, putting a stop to it. The outcome we want is the Six of Wands. We want to progress, we want to grow, we want to achieve the victory. Again, victory over our own limitations, kind of the leveling up, right? In this sweet spot where the growth is as optimal as it can be. What we're sort of expecting is that things are going to break down. I'm going to get tired of it. I'm going to get fed up. Something's going to happen, and I'm not going to be able to do it anymore, right? And this is you knowing yourself. You know that if you get pushed too little, you're going to get bored. You're going to go away. If you get pushed too hard, too much, you're going to break down. You're going to get mad. You're going to blow up. You're going to leave. So whether this is a work thing, whether this is an exercise, gym, a health thing, we want to motivate. We want to have discipline and motivation, but just the right amount. Too little, no good. Too much, it's no good. And the Ten of Cups, I think, is that feeling of too much. Now, I think this might be the feeling of too much of something else. And this is kind of this sort of goes the other way, too. This is an extreme, and this is an emotional extreme. So with the Six of Cups, well, that could become a Ten of Cups. It could be too much of a good thing, right? People encouraging you, telling you how great you are. Too much of that, and it feels like, okay, I'm leaving. You know what I mean? Then, of course, too little of that, and we feel alone and isolated. We don't feel supported at all. So we don't want the enablers around us. We want the motivators, but we don't want either extreme. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's clear. So that's kind of our obstacle, right? Is to stay in that sweet spot of sort of comfort and motivation. Yeah. Now, the final card we have is the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is, I think, a whole new perspective on life, a whole new, it's a shift of energy. And I feel that there really is this big sort of breakthrough coming. And what I see with the tower, too, is that when the walls come down of the tower, what's left? Well, what's left is the Ace of Wands. That's what's inside the tower. So I feel like breaking through your limitations is really giving you a freedom in life to pursue any goal you want. I feel like this is kind of like you've achieved some level of power, some level of will, even of autonomy, of capability. Okay. I think what was back here as sort of an inspiration now is over here as really a kind of a fighting energy. And this is pure will, right? And I think the result of all this is that you understand how to harness your own power. And now this can be applied to anything in your life. Anything and everything. So what's coming next for you is, well, I guess that's up to you, But I feel like all of this is leading to your a certain level of confidence and power. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. Maybe that's going to show kind of what this is all geared toward. If it is some kind of it could be a financial thing. This could be kind of career stuff. It could be physical fitness. It could be a sport, an activity. It could be a creative project. So I think maybe this card will show us like what we're applying all of this kind of newfound energy and power to, what we're doing with it, right? Let's see what we have. The Knight of Cups, pursuing your holy grail, right? Being able to, and then maybe this is what you're preparing for, sort of unconsciously, preparing for your big quest in life. This feels like preparation. This feels like get ready. Your quest is about to begin, right? And these are the things that we need. These are the energies that we have to go through to really begin our quest. So I feel like we're preparing for something major, preparing for this big adventure. You're preparing to start living your journey. Okay? The Knight of Cups, pursuing the Holy Grail. And I feel like we need all of the energies we talked about. We have to have that inspiration. We have to get the idea, right? And then we have to want to do it. We do need the hermit energy. We do need a little bit of that isolation. We need the good habits, the routine. We need our sense of identity. We have to know what our purpose is. We need the right balance between motivation and love and support, you know. We've got to be challenged. We've got to go beyond our limits. We've got to avoid the extremes, right? Because they might lead to a breaking down of the whole thing, right? Well, it'll result in us quitting. And all of this is going to allow us then to apply our energy. And now we're ready for that marathon. Now we've done all the training. And now this is kind of like, okay, race day. Now I'm going to the race. This is you know, going to that big marathon and being in your best condition to do it. And I think this is whatever that purpose is. This is that holy quest of yours. Yeah. Now we're going to do an extended reading. Excuse my voice today. If you want to stick around for the extended, there's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Sagittarius, Wednesday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're currently watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.